Uh, let's see. So again, like I said, guys, my name is Meha Daruka. I will be the instructor for this course. Just to give you a little background information on myself, I've actually only been in Colorado for about 2.5 years. I moved here in fall of 2018, basically when Ames offered me this position. So I've only been here, like I said, 2.5 years. Before that, I was on the East Coast. So for the majority of the time, I was in Kentucky. I was teaching there. I was there for about 10 years at Hopkinsville Community College. We moved to Cleveland for a short while after that, but now we are here. I actually grew up in India. I moved to United States in fall of 2000. So I've been here, obviously 20 plus years now. I came as a student. Got my bachelor's degree. I did two masters after that, and one of those masters is in mathematics. I never thought I would end up teaching as a profession, but it just sort of naturally happened. And obviously I enjoy teaching, and I hope that you guys will have a great experience with this class. As you can see, this is going to be a remote class, but the setup of this class is a way where it's kind of the same thing if you would have been in the classroom with me. So we're not technically what we would call an online course, which means you're not, just working on homework and assignments and exams and stuff on your own. We do actually meet twice a week, as you would have seen in your when you signed up for the class and also in the course syllabus. So we meet twice a week, Monday and Wednesday, from 9:15 to 10:55. So this is an hour, 40-minute class. Your video lectures have already been recorded and they are available in D2L. So you can watch those lectures. What we normally do in class, instead of me lecturing where you guys are just sitting there and listening, kind of like right now, it's going to be a little bit more interactive. So we actually go over examples during class time. You have the chance to ask me questions if you've already looked at homework and something you didn't understand, or you've tried the problem, a couple times and you're like, okay, I still don't understand. Those kind of things is what we would be working on during class time. So I will have examples for you to work on, and then you can bring your own questions and we can discuss those during exam. When we're getting closer to the exam time, you can ask me questions for review and that sort of thing. So the actual lecture part, where we are introducing the topic and you are first time looking through the lectures, all of that is happening at your end through the video lectures I have posted in D2L. So you actually have lectures from I believe I've used my summer lectures, because at that point, we were still pretty new to this whole remote learning. So I actually lectured remotely. So you can watch those. I actually have also made my spring lectures available to you. And the reason I made those available is I actually have video lectures where it's not me interacting with a class of students. It's actually just me recording video lectures so that students could watch on their own. So it wouldn't be more of the student interaction, but just traditional type of video lecture. So whichever ones you are comfortable with, you can watch from the spring or summer, but just do make sure you watch those video lectures so you are aware of what we will be working on in class that day. So just a very brief overview, just to kind of get you guys started thinking about this class. Now, of course, this is a first level college algebra course. So your prerequisites in terms of how you got into this class can be you've either taken Math 055 or Math 050, one of those courses maybe previously in a different semester, or maybe you've taken a similar college algebra course at a different institution and you just decided to, you needed a better grade or whatever, and you came back and took it here. So there can be many different ways you can sign up for this class. Maybe you have good grades in your high school algebra courses and they use that to determine you were ready for Math 121. But basically the idea is, if you were accepted into this course, we go with the assumption that you have the basic algebra skills you need to succeed in this class. So at any point you feel like, okay, maybe you don't have those skills, you are finding this class harder because those skills were not there in place, you do have the option of, withdrawing from this course or dropping this course actually before the drop date, and you can sign up for one of those 050, 055 classes where you can acquire those basic algebra skills. So just kind of keep that in mind for that first couple weeks till you get to that drop deadline. Obviously, if you are doing well in this class, then we would expect you to go all the way through to the end of the course. So like I said, we will go through and do introductions with all of you. So what I would like to do is when I call your name, just introduce yourself to the class. Tell us a little bit about yourself, whatever you're comfortable sharing. If you want to share a fun fact about yourself. And I would also like you to tell me when was the last time you had a math class, and if you remember which one it was. So just kind of to give us an idea of, what kind of background you are coming in with. So I guess I will actually go in the order that you are showing up on my screen. So Timothy Hollis will begin with you.
All right. Yeah, my name's Tim. This is my sophomore year of at Ames. Starting that, I'm in the professional pilot program. I just got my instrument rating last week, and I'm starting commercial this week. I'm married. I got 2 kids. One of them's doing school right next to me here, so there's a distraction. That might be why. Hopefully, he goes back to school next week full time. I'm also in the Navy Reserves. I did 9 years active, and I'm still in the reserves. I got 2 years to retirement, so can't wait for that. And the last time I did a math course was about mid 2000s. So we're talking 2005, 2006 timeframe. So it's been a little while.
Do you remember, Tim, what class it was?
I think it was a math course just below this. It was at Embry-Riddle. I did it online. I was deployed overseas, so the learning environment was not the best at the time. So we'll see. Hopefully I won't struggle too much.
And I'm definitely here for any time you feel like you just need to brush up a little bit on your skills. So yeah, definitely. And this is for obviously all of you. Never hesitate to reach out and say, hey, Ms. Daruka, I need help. I'm stuck. And Timothy, thank you very much for your service. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
All righty, wonderful, very good. So let's see, Morgan Erker.
Hi, my name is Morgan Erker. I'm from Burlington, Colorado. This is my second semester at Ames. The last time I took a math class was my junior year. I believe it was Algebra 2.
And what year was that, Morgan?
That was 2018.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Emma Nelson.
Hi, I'm Emma. I live on a ranch in Brighton, and I took a math class last semester.
Last semester, okay. All righty, very nice. Thank you very much. Megan, and is it Lamontine?
Yeah, it's Lamontine.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, my name's Megan. This is my first day at Ames. And the last time I took a math class was at IBMC in like 2006.
Okay, wonderful. All right, let's see, Jacqueline Prado Diaz. Jacqueline, you are on mute.
Sorry, hi, my name is Jackie. This is my 3rd semester at Ames, and my last math class was last semester.
Alrighty. Let's see, I guess that would bring us to Katie. Is it Divis?
It's Davis.
Davis, okay.
But whatever. My name is Katie, and I'm a registered nurse. I have my associate's degree, and I'm working towards my bachelor's. And college algebra is required. I attempted it last semester, but it was online and no interaction. So I was teaching myself and it didn't go very well. So I'm hoping this will be easier.
Yeah, and it definitely gives you a little bit of that face-to-face interaction as opposed to a completely online course. All righty, wonderful, thank you. And if I say this poorly, I apologize. Is it Aylin Diaz?
It's Eileen.
Eileen, okay, thank you.
Yeah. My name's Eileen, and the last time I took a math class was 2 semesters ago. It was technical mathematics. And I've lived in Colorado my whole life, and I like to build computers. That's just something fun about me.
Very nice. You know, that is definitely a very in-demand hobby, or, you know, if you do it professionally, because we have this one student on campus who is a work study and he builds computers. Bless his heart, he is running around all the offices on campus trying to help all of us out, you know, when we're on campus, because none of us know what we're doing most of the days. So that's a really good, you know, hobby, like I said, to have. Very nice. Thank you, Eileen. So I guess that brings us to Alice Nelson.
Hey y'all, I'm Alice. I'm a ranch kid. Yeah, I'm just taking this class because it's required basically. And my last math class was last semester, but my teacher kind of sucked. So I'm hoping this one goes a little better.
Was that college algebra or a different
That
class?
was 055 over at Front Range.
055, I see. Okay. Okay. All righty. Very nice. Thank you very much. Jasmine Renner.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. This is my 3rd semester now at Ames. I think my last math class. I was a junior in high school, so like 2008. So it's been a while. But yeah, this is my 3rd semester. I have 2 kids. I'm an esthetician. That's about it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right. Let's see. Jessica Gonzalez.
Hi, my name's Jess. This is my 1st semester at Ames. I took a math class last semester, and I'm taking this class as a prerequisite for radiology.
Radiology. All righty. Wonderful. Thank you. Christopher Olgard.
I'm Chris, and last time I took a math class was last year, last school year. I was a senior. It was Algebra 2.
Okay, okay. All righty, very nice, thank you. Maggie Hardy.
Hi, I'm Maggie. This is my first class at Ames. I just graduated in December. And I'm just taking this class to transfer over to a different university. And I attempted a math class last semester, but it didn't go too well, so.
Okay, are you hoping to transfer in Colorado or out of state?
Out of state.
Okay, wonderful, very nice, thank you very much. Okay, so let's see, Cassandra Kelman.
I'm a stay-at-home mom right now, so I do apologize if I have kids screaming in the background or if I have to turn my camera off sometime in the future. So, because we're potty training both at the same time. So, I took a math class last semester. It was 055. So.
Thank you very much and good luck with that potty training. Can't even imagine what that's like. All righty, let's see. Haley Carlson.
Hi, I'm Haley. I am majoring in nursing, so this will be like my last semester finishing up my prereqs at Ames to apply. And the last time I took a math course was over the summer, and it was statistics.
Oh, so you took statistics and now you're coming back to do college algebra?
Yeah,
Oh.
because I'm just so because I was sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to word it. I took statistics because I knew I needed that for some
Yeah.
colleges, and then I'm just finding out that I also need algebra, so I'm kind of going backwards, I guess.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice because the two courses are not kind of interconnected. So you can take the statistics first and then come back and do college algebra. So yeah, you're perfectly fine with that. All right, wonderful. Thank you. Let's see, Angelica. And I'm so sorry, but I'm not sure how to say your last name.
It's Frere.
Prayer? Okay, thank you.
Yeah. This is my second semester at Ames and I'm going for business. And the last time I took a math class was last semester.
Last semester? Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Kareem Poor?
Yes, how y'all doing? My name is Kareem. I'm originally from New York City. I'm a veteran as well. I joined the Air Force I was in the Air Force for like 12 years, and then I figured out that I wanted to do something different, and that's why I decided to move to Colorado. And I'm studying aviation right now, student pilot as well. And this is my second time around the block for Math 121. Hopefully, I can complete it this time. This is my third semester here, so glad to be here and get it done.
Well, thank you for your service. And you said you moved here from New York?
Originally from New York City. I traveled for a little bit when I was in Air Force, and then I got out after 12 years, and I was like, all right, it's time to work on something different.
Yeah, no, definitely. And yeah, thank you again for serving. And you know, it's definitely a different pace from New York City. But like you said, if you've been around and looked at other places, then Colorado is definitely a beautiful place to be. It's definitely one of my favorite places I've ever stayed at. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
And I guess, Dom, that brings us to you, Dom Sanchez.
My name is Dom. I'm doing Ames TUNC, and this is my second semester at Ames. And last time I took a math class was, I think it was junior year, so 2019.
Okay. Okay, so not too far back. All righty, very nice. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate that. Okay, so what I would like us to do next is just to remind you, you should have received, I think, about 2 emails from me with an invitation to sign up for remind.com. So this is a great service that we have, or I have actually just found out about last semester, because it actually gives you the option, because you are the one signing up for this at your end. You can receive email messages, but the other thing I like, without having to share your cell phone number with me, you can actually receive reminders from me as text messages on your cell phone. So what I will normally do is just send you a reminder a couple days before the assignments are due, just reminding you, hey, your chapter 1 assignment is due on this date. Just make sure you're keeping up with your homework, because you will have homework, quizzes, and exams. So if you are comfortable receiving a text message, you can sign up for that. If you just want to receive email reminders, that's fine. But really, mainly the reason why I signed up for this service was to send you those texts, because I am also in the same habit. When I get a text message, I respond to it a lot quicker than having to go through so many emails, because I'm sure, just like me, you are receiving a lot of emails every day, and sometimes it can get hard to keep up with those. But with text messages, since you don't get a lot of the unnecessary ones, you're more easier to respond to. So definitely go ahead and accept that invitation. If you haven't already, I did see some of you were pending, so I have approved your request. But if there is still anybody who has not accepted it, go ahead, accept it, or let me see, actually yesterday they were giving me a link that I could share. So through your chat, you should see a link coming through for remind.com. Even if you click on this link, it will take you to that same invitation that you were receiving through email. So it should be coming through, give me a second here, right now. So you should see that remind.com link pop up. So if you haven't signed up for that service, go ahead and take care of that now while I still have you in class. Okay, and let me just make sure I can see your names popping up in our list over here. And if you don't sign up for it, then whenever I send these reminders, you are not going to receive them. So it's definitely up to you if you want to sign up for this service or not. I definitely recommend that you do, but if not, then you would need to make sure you are keeping track of your assignments. Okay, so that is one thing I definitely wanted to make sure you are working on. And then let me see.
So it doesn't matter if we use our phone number or email.
Yeah, whichever one you are comfortable with and you would prefer to receive the reminder through that, email or phone number. And like I said, I don't actually see what you are signing up for. So it's not going to tell me this is your cell phone number, or, if you do a personal email or school email, it's entirely up to you. But, whichever service you sign up with, that's where you will receive these reminders at, okay? Alrighty, so if you've taken care of that, then the next thing I want to do is get a little bit more information from you in terms of just, again, very general questions that, we didn't have in the introduction part. So I'm actually sending you a link to a student information sheet, which was created by the college. It just helps me just understand kind of like, what your major is, how many credit hours you are taking this semester, if you're working full-time or not working currently, because, it just gives me an idea of how much time in a week you have and how many different ways it's getting utilized, of course, personally, professionally, for classes and stuff like that. So it just kind of gives me an idea a little bit about how comfortable you are working in groups and that sort of thing. So this next link that I'm sending you is for your Google Forms, where we have created this form. I believe you will need to use your ames.edu login. I don't think you can do this with your personal login. It has to be through the school login. So that should be the second link that you see coming through, is for the Google Forms. So if you will please go ahead, it should take you maybe just a couple minutes to go through that form. So if you will just kind of look through that, answer the questions. And as long as you guys are on mute, you can leave your cameras turned on. We just obviously don't want any background noise to come through, but just please make sure you leave your cameras turned on while you're in class.
And what was the class code?
I'm sorry, for what are you asking me that for?
Remind is asking me for a class code.
Oh, is it? Okay, let me see what was the class code that I put in there. There we go. Okay, so the class code for remind.com is going to be ACC MAT 121. So it's, Ames Community College Math 121. So ACC Math 121. Alrighty, so I am seeing some requests show up on Remind. Okay, and then you should be working on that Google Sheet form, information sheet. So let's take a look over here. So I've already logged in. Now this is, coming in from the instructor side. So let me change this to student view so it would look a little bit more similar to what you normally see at your end. So there's some new announcements that the school has pushed through, but this announcement is what you should have seen if you had logged in to your course shell over the weekend. So I had just given you a little brief information at the beginning, just your Zoom classroom link. And today they would have asked you to register because we just, again, want to make sure it's only our students who are coming through the class and, no hacking and stuff like that happening, because apparently last semester, a lot of that was happening with these Zoom links. Luckily nothing happened with my classes. So we kind of put that extra safety feature in there through Ames. And, just to kind of get you head started with looking through your course information, making sure you know where to go for your homework assignments and that sort of thing. Additionally, if you have not forwarded your email from D2L to your ames.edu, you want to do that, because what happens is a lot of times I've had students, they didn't remember to check both their D2L email and the ames.edu, which is what you go through, Gmail to get to. And if you forward them to the same location, then there's only one email you need to check. You don't have to keep worrying about, oh, did I check this email? Did I miss anything there? And you do need to keep up with your ames.edu email address, which is available through Gmail, because anything that you are getting from the college is not going to come through on the D2L email address. D2L email is mainly for, you and I, your instructors, and yourself. So, anything the college will be sending out, it's going to be on that one. So if you just combine the two of them together, it really makes it easier. So if you have not done that, honestly, all you have to do is go under your organization tools, and you can, sorry, no, I keep forgetting with my student email, you actually have to go under account settings. If you click on your name and click on account settings, you can actually just go to this email tab over here, and you can, go right at the bottom and just check that box for forwarding incoming messages, the alternate one, and then put your ames.edu email address in here. Save and close, and you are good to go. I mean, literally it takes a second to do that. So I would definitely recommend you guys to do that, so you don't have to, like I said, check multiple different email addresses. Okay, so let's go back into our course shell over here. I want to keep this in student mode. All right, so just any announcements, anything regarding your class, this is exactly where I will be posting. I will send you a reminder message through remind.com, again, just to make sure you are looking at, all the new updated announcements. You should see the class list tab next to it. And this is where you are able to email me, email your classmates. If you want to send any messages out, this is where you can do that. So, obviously just a great place where you don't even have to remember anybody's email addresses. You can just come in here and look at that. But the content tab is basically where most of your, assignments and information and handouts and all those sort of thing is going to be. So the first one by default should take you to this course information page. So you can see we have our course syllabus here, and we'll go over that here in just a minute. You've got your link for the classroom meeting, which is what you are in right now. So obviously I've posted this in multiple different locations to make sure you had access to it. I have also posted the link for my Zoom office hours. So my office hours are going to be 1 to 2 p.m. every day, Monday through Thursday. And it's going to be the same link. So it doesn't matter which day you want to come in and see me. It's going to be the same link. It will take you there for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's 1 to 2 p.m. Now, for any reason you are not able to meet me during those office hours, if you're in class or you're at work or anything of that sort, we can definitely make an appointment for a Zoom meeting, and I can send you a link for just, you and I one-on-one. So if the office hours don't work, just shoot me an email and say, hey, Ms. Daruka, what other time can we meet? And, we'll make an appointment and meet during that time. But so just keep that in mind. The important exam dates, those exam dates are actually available in your course syllabus also, but I just put this here separately, in case you didn't want to look through the entire syllabus. So if you just click on those important exam dates, it takes you to this page over here where it just shows you when all your exams are going to be due. And basically keep in mind the homework and quizzes for that chapter are also going to be due on the same day that the exam date is. So it kind of reminds you of when chapter 1 assignments are due and that sort of thing. So that's under exam dates. If you needed help outside of myself for some math tutoring, then you can go down here to this math tutoring page. And, we are offering remote tutoring through the Greeley campus. I'm not sure if they're doing in-person tutoring or not right now. That will be something you will send the email to this email address here, mathtutor@ames.edu. You can send an email to them and see if they are doing anything in person or if they are also doing remote tutoring only at this time. So just some other resources, I am always here to help you. There are some resources on Professor Ray Brown's website. So I've included his webpage link over here and just some other links for, help through the college. So that's under your math tutoring. Again, if you have not forwarded your D2L email to your Gmail email address, there's a document here at the bottom with the D2L email forwarding instructions. You can, walk through step-by-step through that document and help forward your email through that also. The next tab I want to show you, you will see under course information on the left-hand side of your page, you have the My Math Lab tab. And I've just put your class time in there again, so you remember Monday, Wednesdays at 9:15 is when our class meets. So you have several different links over here. Of course, the course home will just take you to the home page and just kind of show you an overall view of your individual course. So you can, click on that. But for the most part, I would say click on all assignments link. And the reason I prefer all assignments is because you will see your homework, quizzes, and exams all under that link. Now, if you click, individually on just homework or the quizzes and tests, which are these two links over here, the homework and the quizzes and tests, then, if you're in the homework, you don't get to see the quiz and the exams. If you're in the quiz and exams, you don't get to see the homework. So that's why I kind of prefer the all assignments link as opposed to those two, but I have included those in there if you wanted to. You have the grade book link here. So if you wanted to see what your, grades for different assignments or your overall grade looks like, you can do that over here. You've got access to the multimedia library. So, sometimes they have videos in there, sometimes they have animations on how to solve a problem. So a lot of different resources through the multimedia library. You can explore those options. You have access to the e-textbook through, My Math Lab over here. So that's the reason why we do not really require you to buy a hard copy unless that's something you prefer having is the hard copy. But if you're okay with the e-textbook, that is already included to you with your, MyMathLab account over here. So I would not worry about buying the textbook unless you absolutely need to. And as you can see, it takes you right to that first prerequisites chapter over here, and you can, just navigate through that to look at your textbook pages. Okay, so just, something to remember. If you needed extra practice, right at the bottom, you will see the study plan link. It says My Lab Math Study Plan, and that's only for extra practice. If you didn't want to mess around with your homework and quizzes grade, and you didn't want to affect that grade, you can always go to study plan just for extra practice, not for any graded assignment. So just something of, MyMathLab to look through. So as you can see right now, I have only opened up your prerequisite homework. And, I just wanted to make sure that you have all the necessary skills that you need, to get started before we get into chapter 1. But I will actually go ahead and open those other assignments also. Just with the grade book, obviously, since this is showing me as a student, there's nothing in there. But as you start working on your assignments, you will start seeing that list show up over here, towards the middle of the page, and it will show you what your score for each of those homework, quiz, and exams is going to be. So that will start, showing up at this end over here under the grade book. So that's going to be under your MyMathLab. Now I have included all the class handouts over here, so you can see the class handouts module here on the left-hand side, and you can see these are all broken down by chapter and section numbers. So you will have all of these handouts available, all the way from chapter 1 to chapter 7. So again, if you want to just look through those video lectures and follow along with those video lectures, these are the handouts that I am using in my video lectures. So as I told you, you can look at the summer 2020 lectures, or you can also look at the spring 2020 lectures. So all of these are again broken down by chapter and section number. So you can take a look at, either one of those options. This last option over here, which says MML homework videos, that's MyMathLab homework video. So what I normally do is when students ask me a question on a homework problem that they got stuck with, I will usually make a video explaining how to solve that problem, and then I post it right over here. So these are, some of the recent videos that I had created that I have, posted over here. So just another resource, if this is the same problem you got stuck working on, you can always come to this section and see if somebody else had asked that question and if I have a video for it. If not, send me an email and I'll make a video regarding that. So this is what you will see under your, student view. I actually just want to make sure that you guys have logged into your MyMathLab account. If you have not, go through MyMathLab on your D2L account and look through that all assignments page. Now, I am actually going under the instructor mode, so I can see how many of you have actually clicked through MyMathLab. So if you see your name over here, that means you have actually already gone through that MyMathLab module and you have clicked on one of those links, either the course home, all assignments, or something, and that's how you actually get into your MyMathLab course shell. So that's what you need to do, is just go to your College Algebra course shell, click on content, then go to this MyMathLab module over here, click on that, and then click on any one of these links, either the course home, all assignments, it doesn't matter. Click on that and your name will show up here in my gradebook, which tells me you are ready to start working on your homework. Okay, so till you don't do that, you will not have access to MyMathLab. Any questions so far, guys, before we get into the course syllabus and I just kind of lay out the classroom policies?
The math class isn't showing up under the D2L.
Okay. Why would that happen? When did you sign up for this class?
It was on Friday, I believe.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing your name. Because I've got Timothy Hollis and you are Hardy, so you should have been right above him. Okay. Let me make a note of that, and we might have to talk to our Ames Online coordinator to see why your name is not showing up. Because if it was Friday, it shouldn't take that long, you know, for the system to process it. So I will look through that and let you know what's going on, okay?
Okay. Cool, thank
Anybody
you.
else having that same problem? How many? Yeah, 17 names are in there, so it looks like everybody else's name is there, but yeah, Maggie, yours is not. Interesting. Okay, any other questions before we move on to the course syllabus?
What exactly is the prerequisite homework?
So you remember how I was telling you earlier that, you know, if you've taken like a basic algebra course or something like that, you would have the necessary skills to take the college algebra. So the prerequisite is just to make sure you kind of have that background algebra knowledge. So it's more of that basic algebra knowledge that we are testing, you know, so just to make sure you're comfortable working with, you know, fractions, you are comfortable working with, you know, your variables, you know, algebraic terms like 4x squared plus 3x squared, you know, just kind of those basic calculations. So the prerequisite is just to test your, or not test, but just to review your basic algebra skills. And then Eileen, I saw that you had raised a hand there.
Yeah, I had a question. Is before in another math class that I had, we had to pay for the MyMathLab. Is this the same where it'll give us like a trial and then we'll pay for the full semester?
So what they have actually started doing now is, and this will be, you know, if any of you have had the same experience with MyMathLab before, initially the process was you had a 14-day free trial period, and then you would have to pay to get access to MyMathLab. So what they have now started doing is, this is what we call as first day access. So you get a discounted rate, and the bookstore will actually charge you when you pay for the class itself. So, you know, when you paid the tuition for this class, they actually add on that discounted price of MyMathLab at that time. So you don't have to go later into the semester and pay it. They're already doing it the first day of class. So, you know, when you get your bill or receipt for your classes, you should actually see that added on discounted rate for MyMathLab. So yeah, you don't have to do a separate payment anymore, you know, after that free trial ends.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's the reason why we are able to put this in your D2L course shell, because if you remember back then, you would actually have to go to the MyMathLab website, right, and create an account and go through that way. So they've taken all of that away. And you know, you do actually get to save a little bit of money, because I think typically the access is like $104, $105, and it, you know, it keeps changing every year. But I believe this actually comes down to under $100. It may even be like 75, $80 instead of the 100 something. So they don't really tell us what the amount they're charging you, but I know it's discounted to you. Okay, very nice. Any other question, guys?
I was just wondering when we need to have all those prerequisite homework finished because I didn't see a due date on it.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't put a due date, but it will be the same due date as the chapter 1 exam date. So I think that was January 27th, if I remember correctly. Yeah, January 27th. And I'll go ahead and put those due dates in because when I was setting that up, I was just still playing around with my due date, so I hadn't put that in. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and take a look at our course syllabus. Now, you can obviously access your course syllabus through the D2L, but, you know, I don't kind of like how small it makes the text look. So I've actually just opened it up as a PDF document on my computer over here. So you can just see your course number, you know, the term and the basic information for the class. You know, just kind of keep in mind that typically the idea is if you're spending 1 hour in the classroom, you are spending 2 hours outside of classroom, you know, studying, preparing, you know, working on the class itself. So that can be in the form of homework, in the form of, you know, studying for your quizzes and exams. But basically the idea, if this is a 4 credit hour class, that means every week you are spending 4 hours in the class and additionally 8 hours outside of class working for this. You know, so just keep that in mind. You know, if you're taking other classes, if you're working full-time, which I saw in that information sheet that some of you are actually working, you know, full-time jobs. So that would come down to a little bit of time management, you know, making sure that you are, you know, giving good amount of time to each of your classes, you know, to your personal life, to your job. So just, you know, if it helps, you know, make a schedule, write down everything, you know, okay, when are you going to be working on math? When are you working on English or, you know, biology or whatever classes you might be taking? It might help you kind of navigate your day and make sure you're setting out time for all your assignments and everything. So again, like I said, I have put these links everywhere. So the Zoom classroom meeting link is in your course syllabus also. If you click on this, it will automatically, hopefully, the way I set it up will take you to your Zoom meeting. Again, we meet every Monday and Wednesday from 9:15 to 10:55. This is obviously a full semester course, so we go from January to May. Just my contact information. I do prefer to be addressed as Ms. Daruka. I've given you both my email addresses, but you know, I do have them forwarded. So they always end up in the same location. So it doesn't matter which email you send it to, I will get your email no matter what. I am actually based on the Fort Lupton campus. So that's where my physical office is. But you know, we're working remotely this semester. So that's why I've canceled it out. Ames has done a great thing. They have actually moved our phone service to a via cloud service. So I can actually get phone calls on my laptop. I haven't received any phone calls yet, so I'm not entirely sure how that works. So it will be kind of fun to play around with it, but it's basically an app that we stay signed into. And when anybody calls, you know, we can just put our headset on and we can actually talk to them like we would be on a phone itself. So you do have the option of calling me. It may take me a little playing around with it. Like I said, I haven't received any phone calls to really see how it works, but you do have the option of calling me on my office phone number here. So I have included that here. Again, the Zoom link for my office hours. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 1 to 2 p.m. If those times don't work, you know, feel free to make an appointment for other times that we can meet. Your course drop deadline is January 27th. So basically, if you drop the course, it does not show up on your transcript. And, you know, I believe there's a refund involved in that also. However, if you withdraw from the course, that's still April 7th. And it does show up on your transcript with the, you know, grade of W to show that you had taken the course, but you withdrew from it. So just the 2 different deadlines for drop and withdraw. If you wanted to see other deadlines, I have included the link for the academic calendar over here, your student services link. You know, if you feel like there's any kind of service you need, any help you need. It could be in terms of, disability access services for, students with learning disabilities or otherwise. They are a great resource. We have Artie's Pantry on campus. We have the Student Emergency Fund, which they give you a one-time fund of $500 if ever it comes down to where you could use some help like that. Obviously we have our tutoring services. We have our diversity and inclusion department. So a lot of different resources that you can get through Ames. And, I'm only listing a few out of a lot of these services. So that's a great link to look through. Like I was talking about with your prerequisite for this class, you definitely made sure you have met your requirements through transcripts or assessments, or, what courses you've taken in the past. The standard syllabus policies is something you want to look through, because again, we don't want to make our syllabus 20, 30 pages long, and so they put a lot of these under the standard syllabus link over here that you can click on and kind of look through those general descriptions. Your college textbook is the College Algebra 6th edition by Dugopolsky. Again, the textbook itself is optional because you have the e-text version available through MyMathLab. So MyMathLab is required. You can use scientific calculators. Normally the math department says you cannot use graphing calculators, but I'm okay with it because I would, if you have a graphing calculator at home, I don't want you to go buy a new one, for scientific calculator. On your exams and stuff, I prefer that you use a traditional calculator and not a cell phone calculator, just because, with cell phones, you have access to other apps and everything. So have a traditional calculator, either graphing or scientific, whichever one you have easily available. Your course description just kind of lists all the different topics and concepts we will be going through. So guys, this is a college algebra course. So, obviously our main emphasis is going to be on algebra and, obviously further than what you have seen in other courses. So a lot of talk about equation solving, working with functions, graphing, applications is going to be part of this course. We're going to be looking at different types of functions. So, we'll start with linear functions, inequalities. We'll do second degree polynomials, which is what we call as quadratics. For that matter, polynomials that are higher than degree 2. So, third degree, fourth degree polynomials kind of thing. We'll also talk about exponential and logarithmic functions, a little bit of rational functions, which is, in the fraction form. And we will just do an introduction to conic sections, which is chapter 7, the last one. But, again, just another aspect of algebra that we will be looking at. So this class is very broad in terms of the topics we cover, because again, it just depends on which field you end up going into and which concept you would use, from this class. So a very general coverage of the algebra topics in here. Here are your learning outcomes. So you can kind of see these would be, some of the things that we focus on, because this is what we are hoping that you will gain out of this class. We're breaking these outcomes down into required sections, so you can kind of see the breakdown for each of these topics and what those subtopics will look like. Some of these are required and some of these are recommended. So the recommended ones are usually, time permitting, we go over them, but the required ones are the ones we definitely talk about. So just a breakdown of your topics, and you can kind of look through that if you like. Keep in mind, this is a guaranteed transfer course, and I love this about Colorado. So what that means is this Math 121 algebra course, you can take it at any higher education institute. So Ames Community College, Front Range, UC, Boulder, or whichever campus you're at, CSU, doesn't matter, UNC, you can take this class through any of these 2-year or 4-year colleges, and it will be the exact same course, and they transfer it evenly. So even if you take it at Ames and go to another four-year college, it will transfer laterally. And I love that about these general education courses. So that's a great thing about Colorado, which I think a lot of other states are trying to adapt. I know in Kentucky, we didn't have that easy transfer going from one institute to the other. So I really love that part about Colorado here. So this is a guaranteed transfer course. You can transfer to any four-year, two-year institution that you move on to from Ames. So just the breakdown for those competencies and outcomes. And then, Ames has their own common learning outcomes. So you can kind of see some of the things will apply to our class. Some of them may not, but these are, again, some of the things we want to make sure we are covering as we do these courses. So a lot of that first part of your syllabus is just all of these general information that you should have. But as you can see, once you get down to page 6 of your course syllabus, this is actually where it gets specific to our course, my course, what we will be doing in this class. So attendance is going to be a big part of this class, and I take attendance every class period. And technology has made it a lot easier because all I do is download the class roster and I just check mark you guys on the roster to make sure that you were in attendance. So I take attendance at the beginning of class. And even though I don't tell you that, I keep track of your attendance during class and I take attendance at the end of class. So, just because we're not in a classroom right now, so I just want to make sure that you stayed with me throughout the class from the beginning to the end. So just to kind of give you an idea. So, be in class because we will be going over examples, we will be talking about what problems you are having. So even though I am not doing a traditional lecture setup with these remote classes, we are meeting every Monday and Wednesday, and we are going to be discussing, topics from this class. So attendance is important. I want you guys to be here. You are going to get the best out of this by being here, interacting with me, interacting with each other. When the opportunity provides itself, I will put you guys in breakout rooms so you can kind of work on problems together as a group, kind of discuss your answers and see if you can help each other out. So that will be something, to keep you interacting with each other. For any reason, if you think you're not going to be able to attend, give me a heads up, shoot me an email, or if the day before you meet in class, just let me know at that point that, hey, Ms. Deruka will not be coming for whatever reason. So just kind of keep me updated. You can get in touch with your classmates to find out what you missed, or I record the video lecture so you can go look at the lecture you missed and, go through your notes and that kind of thing. So you get attendance points for each day that we have class. So since we have 30 days that we will be meeting throughout the semester, you get 30 points. The idea is, when you come to class, when the class begins, and leave class when class ends, you get 1 full point for attendance. If for some reason you were late or you had to leave early, then you get half a point for class. Some days it may happen that you were late coming in, but then you had something else going on and you had to leave early also. So if, you're missing the beginning at the end of the class, then, honestly, you were not here for much of the class. You don't really get any attendance points in those cases. If you're in class for less than half the time of the class, so, we are our 40 minutes. So that comes down to what, about 50 minutes of class time. If you're in class for less than 50 minutes, you again get no attendance points. And, of course, if you miss class, you don't get any attendance points. So that's kind of how the attendance point things work out. Now, you do want to keep good attendance, guys, because to be able to take your chapter exams or final exam, you need to have 90% attendance, at that point. So final exam would be 90% attendance for the whole semester. But for the chapter exams also, I look from the day we started class, which is today, till the time you take that first exam, if you have 90% attendance or not. And if you don't have 90% attendance, you don't get to take the exam. So keep that in mind, because even if you lose half a point, that can mess with that percentage. Because, right now, by the time we get to that first chapter exam, we're not going to have a whole lot of days in there. I mean, today's the 11th. Your first exam is on the 27th. So that means you will have 5 days, class days, not days in terms of the week, but 5 class days by that point. And honestly, if you miss half a point in that, it does not bring you to 90% attendance. So if for some reason you think you're going to be, missing class or losing points, give me a heads up so we can talk about it. So 90% attendance is absolute requirement to take your chapter exams and your final exam. So keep that in mind. I've just kind of given you a breakdown for the final exam. If your attendance points are anywhere from 27 to 30 points, you will be able to take the final exam. If by that point, at the end of the semester, your attendance has fallen below 27 points, it's 26 or below, you will not be eligible to take the final exam. So please keep that in mind. We face challenges with these remote classes, and it's actually really kind of interesting, the lessons I have learned over the last couple semesters that we've been doing these remote classes is, when you're at home, we tend to be a little bit more relaxed, and we tend to take things a little bit more easily. So to make sure that we are maintaining the integrity of the class, because, if you're going to be lying in bed, you're going to fall asleep no matter what. And I've had that happen with students. This is a 9:15 a.m. class. So it's not like a 7 or 8 a.m. class, but I've had students fall asleep. And, if you're falling asleep, you're not in class. That means you have 0 attendance for that day. So, being in bed, lying in bed and taking class is not acceptable. If you're going to be driving or in a vehicle, again, there's a lot of distractions. You're not in class. If you are at work and you're running around doing things for your work and you're just carrying your cell phone around with the video on, I'm sorry, that's not being in class. So anything that is distracting, these are just some examples that we came across, but anytime where you are not paying attention in class, you are distracted. If there's somebody else in the room with you and, they're distracting you, then again, you're not paying attention in class. Now, I understand some of you have already told me you've got kids at home, and some of them may be younger, so they don't realize that, hey, you're in class and, not to bother you. So some of those I can make an exception for, but if that becomes the normal trend for you in this class, then, that doesn't help you. It's not doing a service to you. So I cannot count that as attendance. So do kind of keep that in mind. You want to be in class, and the idea is treat the class as though you were on campus in the classroom with me. How would you do that? I would have asked you to put your cell phones, on silent so that they didn't bother you unless you had an emergency call you were accepting. Otherwise, I would want your cell phones to be turned off. I would want your attention on me, on the lecture. So we will still expect those same kind of things from you, even though you are doing these remote classes. So that is something, you want to keep in mind. Just being there physically, but doing something else does not count as attendance. So please keep that in mind.
I have a question.
Sure.
What happens if we're kicked off of class? Technically something happens.
Yeah, and that will happen. Trust me, either my internet is going to act funny or something at your end is, because that's technology, right? Try to come back in if you can.
Okay.
As long as your internet hasn't quit on you, if you can come back, and usually it will pop up a message saying, Katie is coming back to class, and I can give you permission to log back in. But if you completely lose connection and it just will not let you log in, just send me a quick email letting me know, oh, my internet died, or, whatever happened. I know I've had students where unfortunately their laptop actually crashed on them. So it wasn't even the internet, but the laptop for some reason gave out. So yeah, I mean, technology will happen and that's okay. But, obviously just keep me updated if anything like that happens. So again, guys, you have video lectures in D2L. Like I said, you can see the lectures from summer 2020 or spring 2020, but just make sure you are keeping up with those video lectures. So at least you know what topic we are going into and which chapter and which section we will be working on. And, of course, I'll give you a heads up and let you know we're working on, chapter 1, section 1, section 2, section 3, whatever. So watch those video lectures so you know what to expect when you come to class. So your Zoom classroom link again is at the top of your first page of your course syllabus, and of course in D2L. You should have already registered for the class today, so you don't have to do that again. Now you should be able to directly come to class. I do require that you keep your video, your cameras turned on during class. I do actually keep your little camera screens open so I can look at your faces, because I really do a lot better when I can see your expressions, when I know you're understanding something or I've completely lost you. Because if I can't see you, then I don't know if I'm making sense or not. So I do want you to keep your cameras turned on. The idea is if we were in a classroom, I would just be able to look at you directly, and that helps me out. So we're trying to keep that same feeling going on with these remote classes. Don't sit in a dark room where you absolutely have no light falling on your faces, because then I can't look at you. Don't point your cameras at ceiling, walls, or anything like that. These videos are kept within your D2L account. They are not shared, out in the public. We are not making these videos available publicly. This is just for you to use as a resource for your own class. So, don't worry about where these videos are going or anything. They are not going anywhere. They're in D2L and they get deleted at the end of the semester. So keep your cameras turned on, keep them on you, not facing a wall or a ceiling or a window or something like that. I should be able to see your faces clearly. Another stipulation that you have is after first 10 minutes of class time, if you have not even logged in once, you do not get permission to enter the classroom after 10 minutes. So it's kind of the same idea. If we were on campus, after 10 minutes of class starting, I would close the door to the classroom and you would not be allowed to enter. So don't be late by more than 10 minutes. Now, if for some reason you are going to be late, you know this beforehand, let me know, give me a heads up. So when you log into class, I will give you permission. But if you haven't told me that you are going to be late, and you have to give me a reason why, if you're going to be more than 10 minutes late, you don't get to enter the class that day, which means you miss the lecture for that day. And then, of course, you get 0 attendance points for that day. So keep in mind that 10-minute tardy rule for our classes. I don't know if Zoom asks you for a password or not. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but that's the password if it ever pops up and asks you for a password to join the meeting. So I'm not sure what it looks like for all of you. Monday through Friday, I will try to reply back to your emails if I can as soon as possible, but I try to give myself a 24-hour deadline if it happens like towards the evening or night when I'm not on my phone or the laptop. So weekdays, I will have a better turnaround. Weekends can sometimes take a little bit longer, just depending on what's going on. If it's something urgent, you ask me during class, try and see if you can come during office hours, try the office phone number, again, during when I'm on my, business times, that should work out. You should be able to get in touch with me, but definitely, keep in mind, I will try to reply back to you as soon as I can. So the grading for this class is pretty standard. You've got 90 to 100%, which will give you a grade of A in this class. 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C, and 60 to 69 is a D grade. Now, D is considered passing, but just keep in mind, depending on which university you want to transfer to or what program you are taking this class for, they may have their own requirements. Sometimes they only accept a grade of A and B. Some of them will accept a grade of C. Most programs and most universities do not really accept a grade of D. So even though they may transfer the course, they may, say, okay, for your program requirement, we need you to have a better grade than a D, but technically D is still considered a passing grade. And then, of course, anything below 60% would be considered a failing grade. So just your grade breakdown. Now, the way we break this percentages down is homework and quizzes are both 15% each of your overall grade. So it basically adds up to 30%. Your chapter exams are going to be 50%. And then your final exam counts as 20% of your overall grade. So when you add all of them up, that's your 100% grade. My math lab, again, that's where you will be doing your assignments, homeworks, quizzes. Practice exams are not going to be for a grade, but again, if you just wanted to know what kind of questions to expect, chapter exams, and then, of course, the comprehensive final exam. So all of the testing and assignments will be done through my math lab. And then, of course, you should have direct access through your course shell. We just need to get Maggie working with hers. I'm not sure what happened with her account. So homework will be given to you for each section. You've got your same due date as when the chapter exam is due for your homework and quizzes. Outside of the 90% requirement for attendance, you should actually also have 90% on your homework sections before you can take the quiz and the chapter exam. We have realized just as a department that, because your quiz and exam questions resemble your homework questions, if you work hard on your homework, then your success rate in your quiz and chapter exams is actually going to be a lot better. If you only get 50% grade on your homework, then the chances of getting a good grade on your quiz and chapter exam is really low. But if you do 90% or better on your homework, then your quiz and exam results are actually going to be a lot better. So that's the reason why we have this requirement of getting a 90% grade on each homework section before you can take the quiz or the exam for that chapter. 90%, if you're going to be working for 90%, you probably just need another point or two to get to 100% grade. So if you can, try and aim for that 100% on each homework section. Your exam and quiz questions are very similar to your homework questions. So, if you work well on the homework, like I said, you will have a better success rate on those quizzes and exams also. You do not need 90% on your quiz. For your quiz, you get 3 attempts, and the highest score is the one that we keep. So the other ones will be dropped. So out of the 3 attempts, whichever one is your highest grade is what we keep as your grade for that quiz. You don't need a 90% on the quiz. You just need 90% on the homework. Quiz, whatever is your highest grade will be kept. So chapter exams, you are going to be doing in class. And I know that sounds funny when you're thinking I'm remote. How are we doing this in class? So you will actually log in just like you are right now on the day of your exam. And I give you the password when you log in and you actually work in class on your exam. So even though you will be doing this remotely, it's going to be the same thing. Keep your cameras on, you can keep it on mute. And once you are done with the exam, you can leave. But as you are taking the exam, you stay on Zoom with me during your exam time. So kind of like that in-class exam thing, but obviously on a Zoom platform. So again, you need 90% on your homework to get to the exam. You do not need 90% on the quiz, just homework. For the exam, you also need the 90% on your attendance. So for you to be eligible to take the exam, 90% on homework sections and 90% on attendance. Additionally, I did want to let you know we don't do makeup exams. So if for some reason you happen to miss an exam because something happens, life happens, you were not able to take the exam. You have exam for each of the chapters, but I will drop your lowest exam score. So if you took all of the exams, whichever one was your lowest score will be dropped. If for some reason you happen to miss an exam, either because you didn't have the 90% requirement on homework or attendance, or like I said, life happens and you weren't able to take it, I will drop, that missed exam score. So if you had a 0 on an exam, that will also get dropped. It will not affect your overall score. But if you miss more than one exam, so if you ended up missing 2 exams, only one of that 0 gets dropped, the other 0 will stay, because it's only one lowest chapter exam score that gets dropped. It does not apply to the final exam, because the final exam is a different category. This is only for the chapter exams. So, just kind of keep that in mind. Don't get worried that, oh, I missed an exam, what's going to happen? The lowest chapter exam gets dropped. So even if you didn't miss an exam, you still get to drop your lowest chapter exam score. Final exam is comprehensive. So it's going to be everything that you do from chapter 1 all the way to chapter 7. So all the chapters are covered in the final exam. Again, you should have that 90% attendance requirement to take the final exam. And again, you will be taking the final exam in class through Zoom with me. And exams, you still want to make sure you are treating them like you would exams in a classroom. So make sure you are alone, when you're taking the exam. You want to give your full attention to the exam and, not have any distractions when you are working on it. So just kind of keep those things in mind. You want to give yourself as much privacy as possible, so you're not having to worry about other things, and you can concentrate on the exam so that you are able to get good results from all that hard work you have put in. So again, scientific calculators are normally what we require. If you have graphing calculators, I'm okay with that. When you're doing your homework and stuff, it's up to you what you use, but for the exam, don't use your cell phones or tablets or anything like that. If you have a traditional calculator, that's a lot better. Again, those same exam dates that you had in your D2L course information shell are right here. So this is when chapter 1 and a chapter P homework assignments are actually also going to be due the same day as chapter 1 exam. So that's Wednesday, January 27th. Student code of conduct, again, this is where we kind of talk about academic integrity, excellence, any kind of discourse. So if that's something you want to just kind of look over, I've included the link for the student code of conduct. Even though you are in a remote setting, we do take academic dishonesty and, obviously academic integrity seriously. So you do have, being a remote class, you can keep your notes handy if you like. We wouldn't allow that in a in-classroom setting, on campus, but since this is remote, I'm okay if you want to keep your notes, or if you make a cheat sheet or note cards or something like that with formulas or whatever you want handy, that's fine for the exams. But, obviously we don't want to have somebody else helping you or any other kind. It has to be your work, because at the end of the day, you have to show that you have these skills. If you do some kind of, get some kind of help this semester where it's not your own work, but somebody else's, when you move on to the next class, you're going to be lost because you didn't learn it, somebody else did. So make sure it's your own work. You are understanding what you are doing, because it affects you. It doesn't affect me. You may get a great grade for this class this semester, but when you're asked to use it in the next class, and if you don't have those skills, well, there you go. So, keep that in mind. It's not just about getting a good grade and succeeding. It's about understanding what you are doing, because if that understanding is not there, then we didn't really succeed in the class. So, just something to think about and look over in the code of conduct if you want to. Just some helpful hints to, again, help you succeed in the class. Come to class, try and not miss any classes. If you do miss, make up for it. Look through the lecture that I will put on D2L to see what you missed. What did we talk about? Keep up with your assignment, guys. I think that's the one thing, is don't fall behind. If you're taking, a full load of classes this semester, you have other assignments, you have your work, you have your families, your personal lives. So math is one of those things that we think, oh, I'll come back to it. And a lot of times it's like homework is due in 2 days, or maybe even that same day. And now you're scrambling. You have 5 homework sections, a quiz, and an exam to do, and not enough time. So that's a bad setup, right? Don't do that to yourself. Do a little bit of homework every day. If you can get a section out of the way, get a section out of the way. So please don't fall behind, because I think that's the one thing that really, really works against us, is when we have to play catch up, when we were, writing English papers instead of doing math homework. So don't fall behind. Ask questions. If anything does not make sense, ask me for help. Again, don't wait till the day before or the day off when the assignment is due, because if for some reason something happens and I'm not able to get back to you, then you don't get to finish it and you end up getting a 0 on that exam. So please keep that in mind. Participation is great. Even though we are remote, I do expect you to answer questions, to give me responses to the questions I ask you. If you're working on a problem, tell me what answer you came up with. Even if it's wrong, it's okay, because it at least shows me you were working on it and it didn't work out, so we can fix that. So participation would be great. Like I said, make up any lectures that you miss by watching the recorded lectures. You cannot make up your exams, but obviously you can go in and work on your homework and quizzes till they are open. If for some reason anything upsets you, you are unhappy about anything, let me know. Don't get it to the point where it starts affecting your behavior or your conduct in class. So if anything upsets you, please feel free to email me, talk to me through Zoom or, phone call or whatever. If you want to talk to somebody else about it, we can try and find you resources. We have great counselors on campus, advisors on campus. So if there's anything we can do to help you out, let us know. Don't kind of keep it in to the point that it starts upsetting you. Some of these rules are more for in class. So if you want to eat and drink, that's fine. Just, make sure it's not distracting you from the class itself. Absolutely no sleeping in class. If you can try and be alone when you're in class so you don't have distractions, that'd be great. I will let you go on time on most days. If I keep you longer and you need to be somewhere, just let me know and you can leave, when class ends. But normally I will try to get you out of here by 10:55, which is when your class ends. And then, again, kind of, if you can avoid your cell phones, that would be great. So again, you're not getting distracted, unless it's your cell phone that you are using to get on this class, which it doesn't look like any of you are really on your cell phone. It kind of looks a little different when you're on a cell phone. But if you are using cell phone for Zoom, then that's okay. But outside of that, don't do anything else. Just a general breakdown of your course schedule. This is very, very broad. So, just we want to make sure we are keeping up with those deadlines for your homework assignments. The first 3 chapters are the biggest chapters. You have 6 sections in chapter 1, 5 or 6 sections in chapter 2, and 5 sections in chapter 3. So those are 3 largest sections that we work on. So sometimes these exam dates may need to be moved around, because I want to make sure we have had a chance to discuss all the sections before we jump into the exam. I just don't want to throw you in the deep end and say, oh, sorry, we ran out of time, but go do your homework and exam. I will not do that to you. So if we need to move the exam date, we will, because I want to give you a chance to go through the examples and ask me questions. So those first 3 chapters are usually the ones where, we might have to change our exam dates. Chapter 4 is actually only 4 sections, so that one is not too bad. Chapter 5 is 2 sections. I mean, it literally takes us 2 days to go over chapter 5. And chapter 7 is 3 sections. So those last 3 chapters are the smaller ones, and then the first 3 chapters are the big ones. So those, like I said, due dates may need to be moved around. So your task for today, guys, is basically, if you need to look through the syllabus on your own and just kind of fine tune some of those policies, make note of what you need to. But the biggest takeaways from the core syllabus should be attendance policy. So please make sure you're maintaining that 90% attendance so that you can take your exams. You want to make sure your minimum score on your homework sections is going to be 90%. And that also includes chapter P homework assignments, the first 3 homework assignments that's open right now in my math lab. And then remember, there are 3 attempts on the quizzes. So if you're not happy with the score you got the first time on your quiz, you can take it, 2 more times. You've got your class handouts and your video lectures from spring and summer. So use whichever ones you want to, to look through the video lectures, but do that before class. So when you come to class on Wednesday, I would say please look through the video lectures for section 1.1 and 1.2. So that way you know what we will be talking about on Wednesday's class. So again, for Wednesday's class, look through sections 1.1 and 1.2. You can do summer or spring lectures, whichever ones you want. And additionally, go to my math lab and start working on those chapter P assignments. Okay. So, and I saw on the chat message you had, Dom, you said you wanted to talk to me. We can do that. And Chris, I didn't say anything, but I did see your message about you having to reset your Wi-Fi. So you may have missed a couple things when we were talking about, but if you have any questions, going forward, definitely let me know. But I am really excited to have you guys in this class. I'm really looking forward to our semester here together. I am here to help you in whatever capacity I can. So never hesitate to reach out to me. My goal is not to make your life hard, but this is a math class. And as you guys have had experience in other math classes, sometimes it can be challenging. So the best thing to do is ask for help. Don't stay lost. If you have worked on a problem 3 or 4 times and you're just absolutely not getting it, don't get frustrated. Skip that, move forward, do the other assignments, and then either send me an email, or if you're going to see me in class, say, hey, Ms. Daruka, can we go over this example? And I'll be happy to do that. So definitely keep in touch with me, guys. And very, very excited for all of you to succeed in this course. So just let me know if you have any questions, okay? If not, guys, I will see you on Wednesday morning at 9:15. And if any of you want to stay back and ask me questions, you can, for sure. So take care, everyone, and I will see you on Wednesday morning. Bye, guys. Be careful. Take care.
Mr. Daruka, my Wi-Fi